Welcome back, everyone. We're having a blast here in Panama City for Luke Bryan's spring break with tens of thousands of his fans. But before we headed down south, we were able to chat with our friend Dee Messina, who knows all about fan support. They love her so much that they funded her new album, Me.
I'm taking care of everyone, oh, my head's in a spin. I tried, but I just don't remember signing up for this.
Feisty and honest best describes Dee Messina's fifth studio album, appropriately titled Me.
I look in the mirror and I think, wow, Wonder Woman should be looking right back at me, and I see this and it's like, I don't know if she can pull it off.
Dee juggles many jobs: singer, songwriter, mom of two, caregiver of her own mother, and wife as well. A lot of these songs sound like they were written with women in mind.
A lot of my stuff is that way. That's the perspective of it. I'm just a real woman just like they are, I guess, and spending my day in dirty diapers. I'm just saying goodbye, one finger shy of the peace sign.
Artists often have that long-awaited game of wondering if fans are going to like what they're about to hear, but Dee already knows her fans enjoy this body of work because they were in charge of most of the album. They picked the title, the first single peace sign, the album art, and even helped fund the project. You did something that not a lot of people have been able to do. You had the most successful Kickstarter campaign in country music. How did you go about doing that?
So I read up about it and thought it was fascinating. It was scary though, because if you don't meet your goal, you don't get anything. So we're in the studio recording as we're running the campaign, praying to God we meet the goal because the bill for it has already built it up. So we're like, come on, people!
Dee was hesitant to try the technique. She wanted to make sure people knew they weren't paying for nothing.
They're like, oh yeah, someone's asking for money. It's like, oh really? Because I sat here in my living room folding manila envelopes, folding t-shirts, packing envelopes. I mean, you have to do something for that. It's like a yard sale. I'm selling CDs, t-shirts, opportunities to come on stage with me, opportunities to have me play in your backyard, and that money is going towards making the record. They became a backer and got certain rewards.
Dee says this collection, which is on her very own label, is by far her most personal, starting off with a song inspired by her difficult departure from Curb Records.
I'm a little out of breath, but baby, I'm not dead yet. I've walked through fire, been through hell. I'm a little out of breath, but I'm not dead yet. And then right into the Me song. 'Cause when I look into the mirror, all I see is me.
There is also an upbeat anthem called He's Messed Up, which she originally wanted pop star Pink to record. People often talk about how they wouldn't be able to do this without their fans. That is really true for you.
When people get together for a common cause, they really can move mountains, and they did that for me. And I'm forever grateful. I mean, I tell them how much their names, every one of their names is on that record. They say that we're the weaker sex, I'd have to disagree. I'd walk a mile in his shoes if he'd walk a half a mile in these.
Dee's album is available right now. More from Panama City Beach and Luke Bryan when we return.
When we come back, Charlie Daniels honors the icon who gave him his first career break in Music City, Bob Dylan. Well, finally this week, long before the devil ever went down to Georgia, Grand Ole Opry star and country and southern rock legend Charlie Daniels and his wife took a life-changing risk by moving to Nashville with just a few dollars in their pockets. Things were looking pretty gloomy until Charlie met up with one of his all-time idols, Bob Dylan. Charlie got a job playing session guitar on Bob's iconic album, Nashville Skyline, and the rest is southern rock, country, gospel, and bluegrass history. As a long overdue thank you for jump-starting a career of making music, Charlie pays tribute to Dylan with a new collection of some of Bob's greatest songs.
1, 2, 3, and 4.
1969, Bob Dylan came to town. I really wanted to play on a Dylan session because I was such a huge fan. And it was like something I knew I could treasure for the rest of my life if I got to play on one Dylan session. The guitar player that they had booked something like 15 sessions to do the album. And they had booked him for all the sessions except one, and he could not make the first one he was booked. So Bob said, you come play the first one, and I did. And when I got through and I was packing up, and he said, where's he going? Bob said, he's leaving, I got another guitar player. I said, I don't want another guitar player, I want him. And I mean, you know, it was like, wow, like I had just won the lottery or something. To have somebody like Bob Dylan, probably the most respected musician in the country at the time, in the world, express appreciation for what I was doing and wanted to be part of what he was doing was something I can't even articulate. But it really gave me a shot in the arm. And of course it raised some notoriety for me because Bob was always put the names of the people who played on the albums on the back. He gave them label credits. People look at this guy as a prophet and as a spokesman for the generation and all these things that I don't think he really wanted to be looked at that way, but they did. So they learned everything about him they possibly could, and up to and including looking to see who played on his albums. There my name was. I just saw a copy today. Somebody just gave me an old copy of Nashville Skyline, and I had to turn it over to make sure it was still
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me.
One of the things that I've always loved about Bob Dylan, but he always had that freedom. And it made people like me, that when I got ready to do my creative thing, to go in to your career with that same attitude of, hey, this is me, this is what I'm gonna do. You stop and think, if you listen to those early, that was a total departure from My Fair Lady. You know, the bubblegum stuff that was coming out at the time, I mean, it was just a total departure. I think he did more to expand the borders of popular music than anybody.
Quick, y'all, have me on, just turn me loose. Roll me your mind. I love that country pie.
You got a catalog like Bob Dylan. You have one album you want to pay tribute to this guy with. How do you pick the 10?
My aim was to do it without sounded like, I didn't want to copy anything on any of Bob's albums. Any of his songs. I didn't want to do the arrangement. I didn't want to do the instrumentation. That we changed the beats, we changed the rhythm, we changed so much on it. And of course the vocal. You know, I told my co-producer when I went in, I said, listen, if I start doing this, if I start, you know, stop me, because I don't want to do that.
We're gonna let it, you won't regret it, kick your shoes out.
We picked songs that we could leave our mark on. There were some that I thought about doing and I tried that I felt we're not gonna pull this one off and leave our CDB mark on it strong enough to separate it from what they did. Because the way they did it is about the only way it could be done.
Sure.
And so we culled through songs like that and came up with these 10.
The interesting thing is, as a Dylan fan, hearing you actually sing the lyrics in a way that, and no offense to Dylan, but I actually
can understand the lyrics.
All right.
At 77 years young, Charlie Daniels and his band are off and running for yet another year of non-stop touring. And trust me, if you've never seen the CDB live, you ain't seen nothing. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. And Stacy, now that you've got your base tan, it's time for you to head to Cancun, Mexico.
That's right, I'm beach hopping. I think I can handle that, Stormy. Until next time, make sure and keep up with us on all our socials, Facebook and Twitter, and also headlinecountry.com. Take care, everybody.